Good morning, pregame crew. It is Wednesday, September 1st, 8:24 a.m. Chart Gal Lori here. We'll get started in 6 minutes. If you're tuning in later in the day, you can just fast forward about 6 minutes and we'll get down to brass tacks. Audio visual check, please. Hey, Tammy, P Court. There he is. Thank you, Chuck. Sean, Chris, Wave Trader, Jorge, Weight Killer, David, Don, Night Truck. It's your third day here. Well, welcome. How's it been going for you? Weight Killer, has it been helping you? What part of the pregame show is helping you, if any? For those of you interested, I am in a DOT USDT trade to the bull side. DOT altcoin. I shorted AR overnight. I'm out now, waiting for a bounce to reshort AR. AR. So I shorted it here. I'm going to see if this holds as 56.53. I'd like to short a bounce up to 67.71. Hey, Michael, Kevin, Davey Baby. Awesome. That's good to hear, Killa. Curtis. Hey, Barry. Wave, Blue Dog, Topher. Oh, thank you. Hey, Al Natural. Oh, awesome. I'm glad IRM worked for you. IRM is a beautiful chart. Something I remind myself of about 50 times a day, and I'm not joking, is what time frame did I base my trade on? So on IRM, this is a daily and a weekly chart that's beautiful. So I'm not going to get in this trade for 5 minutes. This is a long-term swing. I am basing it on a weekly and daily chart. I like the dividend, so I'm not going to just jump in and out. I know y'all have probably heard the joke ADHD, like, oh, look, a squirrel, and you're constantly getting diverted and distracted. That happens a lot in trading. So write down your trading plan until it becomes where you can trust yourself. Write it down if you have to make sure you stay in a trade for the proper amount of time according to your plan versus in, out, in, out. Some of us get addicted to pushing buttons. How do I know? I was addicted to pushing buttons. But do I want to trade more than I want to make money? No, I want to make money. So if that means trade less, higher conviction setups, stay in the trade until it works out or it doesn't work out. Because we only have so much capital to deploy. A lot of times you're like, oh, that worked. Let me take that money. Let me go run over here. Oh, that didn't work. Let me go run over here. Make sure you're sticking with your trading plan with conviction. Hey, Ra. Okay, let's look at VET. Weekly inside bars. Yeah, I like that. I like that, Ronnie. I call that the trampoline setup. I really like it. Weekly inside bars. So the key resistance on VET USDT 13718, support 11359. I'm just if you are like, what is she talking about? I'm looking at the chat and just kind of reviewing charts while we wait to get started. In 3 minutes, we had ADP payroll numbers come out just a few minutes ago, 12 minutes ago to be exact. It's slightly impacting the market. We had a little pullback and now we're bouncing. It was actually a jobs number miss, stating that the jobs market, essentially the payroll, is very soft and we have not recovered from COVID, obviously. But bad news, good news situation. A lot of times when this bad news comes out, the market can interpret it bullishly, saying, okay, the Fed printer will continue turned on. It will stave off tapering. Maybe the tapering can be pushed off completely till 2022. No interest rate hikes, push those to 2022. So as long as the market's slightly soft, the Fed intervention is justified. Okay, let's look at Amazon right now, Tammy. If you've been here for a hot second, you know I'm not a huge fan of trend lines. I don't base trades on them. but I have been looking at this in Amazon. So remember, this is a weekly chart, so weekly. This candle hasn't closed yet, so it's Wednesday. We have 3 days left in this candle. So a trend line can have, when you break through it to the downside and you come back and retest it, sometimes it can possibly act as resistance. But again, I'm not making trades on it. I'm making note of that and this daily 50 MA overhead. I have a long Amazon swing on right now. I love when we get in this gap fill territory and we essentially have no resistance overhead until we get to this gap fill. If we look left at prior resistance, the resistance is 349915. Let's make it easy on ourselves. As my ex-mother-in-law used to say, make it light on yourself. If we make it light on ourselves, here is the level Amazon must get over. Amazon was relatively was strong compared to the market, a relative outperformer yesterday, and I have no other information or to the contrary. So I'm going to stay bullish Amazon. I'm going to stay in my swing. Our hourly RSI is up at 85. We are not in blue sky territory. 4-hour RSI at 85. So actually, I'm going to put this on my chart right now. I'm glad you asked, Tammy. I'm going to say, tell me when Amazon gets to that 34.99 area, and I may flip out of my longs. It could be resistance. So prior support could act as resistance. I'm going to mute y'all real quick so I can sneeze. 1 second. I'm back. Thank you, allergies. So be careful, Tammy, at 3,500, but let's make sure that the price action, if it stays strong, stay with it. Don't just see resistance and say, oh, let's wait and see if the bears show up before you jump out of your long. But once we're at 34.99, I'm going to be protective and I'm going to wait for this scenario. I know we're getting started just a little late, but it is important. So if we have a 5-minute situation like this at that 3,500 level, and we get a lower high here on the 5-minute, I'm going to be protective of my longs, but I'm going to stay in as long as we have candle closes above the 5-minute EMAs. How many trades would it save you if you just followed candle closes above or below the EMA? So you make commitments to yourself, and we don't lie to ourselves. We make commitments and we say, as long as we have candle closes above the 15-minute 8 and 21 EMA, I will stay in long. Look at what that would have saved you yesterday. Play the inside bar bull break on Amazon and you stay in as long as you have candle closes above the EMA. If you're short, you do the opposite. As long as candle closes below, you stay in bearish. All right. Let's get started with the pregame show. I'm Chart Gal Lori. I'm part of the Chart Guys community. We teach technical analysis. We have a thriving community, and I like to call it family. I actually got a visit last night from my TCG family, one of the traders, the strong traders in our room. It was just amazing to have that fellowship with another trader, and our spouses endured our trading shop talk. It's just fun to have these epiphanies and these connections with these people that you rarely see in person, but our community is that strong. And we like to help people make money too and get out of the way of themselves. So the pregame show, I go over the Fab Four futures, commodities, cryptos, movers and shakers of the day. I attempt to identify Queen of the Mountain setups, which someone dubbed in the room, and it is just strong setups going into the open. Once I turn my mic off, we have more data that's constantly entering the market, and things may shift and change. And my goal is to help give you nuggets every time so you can adapt and be agile with the market, and you can adapt your strategy to ever-changing conditions every second of every day. So let's look at ES on the 4-hour. So ES on the 4-hour, these little errant dots drive me crazy when I get them. Okay, let me clean it up. All right, we have a lower high forming on ES. Forming is an active verb. It doesn't mean it's set yet. So if we break through the low of this candle, 453375, then that 4-hour lower high is set, and I would expect something like this. And the depth of the pullback will tell us a lot, and maybe we tighten up. If you're interested in my chart setup, it's on the screen now. You can screenshot it. And as always, I talked fast because I have to blow through this information in approximately 25 minutes. And then Dan will be going live in 27 minutes over in the Chart Guys community. He does full coverage of the market and he goes over requested tickers. And I can't mod the chat during the pregame show, but we have plenty of moderators there that will answer your questions. They are amazing, strong traders. And at the end, I will try to take requests as time allows. So 4-hour EQ is the story of the day on ES. But what I'm watching is RTY. RTY is stronger. I talked about yesterday how this chart went from a very weak chart with a daily weak as in WEAK with the daily rising wedge that we traded. All of us traded that here if you were in the pregame. And then we pulled back to that weekly support and then this bounce is super strong. So now this chart we have a squeeze. And this is a very volatile squeeze, the orange squeeze. And the squeeze takes a lot of time to get to learn, so I can't teach it in pregame show. But basically, this is a very volatile, high compression situation. Think about your Instapot. If you turned your Instapot to the highest setting and that pressure is just cooking that chicken, well, it's cooking this chicken of price right here. Will explode to the upside or downside. We are poised to go up. We always look at the preceding trend before we started squeezing. And probabilities favor the trend that will be the trend that will be. So stay with the trend. Trend traders, it is easier to make profit for 99% of traders if you stick with the trend, and the trend is up. So we have a weekly bull break as of Friday, this past Friday. So on RTY is the strongest. So let's look on the 4-hour, we made a higher high. So that looks like a bull flag. Again, on the daily, we got that bull flag confirmation last Friday. And on the 4-hour, we got this little bear break. We confirmed it, but it looks like we could, if it would get any consolidation, it would favor a bull flag. Okay, so RTY is the strongest, then YM. Look at what YM did. YM broke that resistance by $2. I'm calling this a double top. So let's do the scorecard. RTY, bull break. YM, double top. NASDAQ, we're within an EQ. ES, EQ. So RTY is the strongest. And I made some notes today. I want to make sure that we remember with RTY. One second, I'll pull it over. Remember, if IWM takes over the market, internals get noisy. There are 2,000 names in IWM/RTY in the Russell. So these small companies, there are 2,000 names in that sector. In SPY, there are 500. In Dow, there are 100. So if IWM blasts off today bullishly and all our market internals look bullish and Apple starts pulling back, don't fret, because Apple is in QQQ. They have a lot fewer names in ES, in QQ than the Russell does. So when the Russell takes over to the downside, do y'all remember we saw that when the Russell was pulling back over here? We made note of it. We talked about it over in here. Why are market internals looking strong and IWM is, the market internals look so weak and the market is strong? It's because IWM was weak. So if RTY continues to take off and ES pulls back, our market internals could point bearishly, yet the market is going up. So just remember, did I say that right? If we're going up with RTY, our market internals could look bullish while every other sector is pulling back. Okay, I think I got it right that time. Okay. So RTY the strongest, then YM, NASDAQ, and EQ. We got the 4-hour ES, we got the 4-hour EQ. Gold. Gold got a little pop on the news. It's pulling back now, I believe. Yeah, we kind of double topped right here at 1818, 1819 area. So we got resistance 1819.60, 1821.90, support 1811, and then 1803. So we have a 4-hour inside bar forming now. It's not confirmed, but we're inside the prior 4-hour candle range, getting tight. Oil, we have inventory today at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. We have a 4-hour squeeze, and we have this tightening range. Resistance 69.24, 69.34, support 68.16, 67.67. This squeeze is looking for some type of volatile reaction, which should happen with inventory. May or may not, but it should happen with inventory to the upside or downside with RSI over 50 on this 4 hour. With this squeeze, odds favor up for me. Let me say that again. So we have a tightening pattern on oil 4 hour. We have an event coming up at 10:30 a.m. Eastern inventory. I have no idea what that report's going to be, nor do I care. And we have a squeeze. We have compression, Instapot pressure building. RSI above 50, preceding trend up, tells me it shifts the odds to the favor of the upside. Doesn't mean it will go up, but that's where I would trade it to the upside if I were trading it. Bitcoin, we broke this little support 46708 by $160. It's acting as a double bottom for now. We have that Adam and Eve type reversal pattern. And if you're like, what the heck is an Adam and Eve? Remember the pointy part, the V shape, and then we get that rounded bottom. Adam, point, Eve, rounded. You get the picture. So Bitcoin is bouncing nicely. Resistance 48259, 48718. But the real pretty girl this morning is Ethereum. She's the pretty girl. So I looked at some other candles to give us resistance. So remember the tops of all of these candles on the daily, that's where price stopped for that day. So there's, even though it's not a pivot at that level, it's still a level we can use. So the next resistance, 35.90. So we have support at, okay, this got negated while I plotted this a couple hours ago, 3499 and 3410. Apple, this was my drawing from yesterday. So we were looking at Monday's price action, and we said if we could hang above 151.63, it could be a bull flag on a higher time frame, and that is still possible. We may get one more daily candle where we kind of tighten up, and we could even, do y'all remember last week when we did this? We looked for this little tiny bear break and then push higher. It could happen again where we break bearishly today, just a tiny bit, and then the bulls buy it and we resume higher. So with Apple, I don't have a clear picture. That's just me anticipating. I'm just anticipating where we pull back a bit, maybe in this 151.55 area or even below 151.29, and then the bulls step in. We have these liquidity breaks and it shakes out the loose hands, and then the real market makers, institution, they step in and they buy it. So let's see if we get a liquidity break below 151.29, swift drop below, and then we could buy it. That's what I can picture in my head happening with RTY so strong. Apple QQQ takes a break and maybe they buy the dip. We'll see. Again, my magic 8 ball is in the shop. I am born on Halloween, but I am not a witch. All I can do is, from market experience, go through what the more likely scenarios are. So, BA. So, BA, we have this tightening pattern. We have these daily inside bars, and we broke bearish yesterday by 44 cents. To me, that's not a bear break on a $200 issue, so I'm still treating this as multiple inside bars. We have a real big tightening range. I would love a push up into 22237 or 22280 for a potential another bearish trade. We have a squeeze on it. BA is tough. I know someone messaged me saying they struggled with it yesterday. They were looking bearish at this 220.64. It went higher, ran into the hourly 200 MA and then rejected. So BA can be tough. So just avoid it. Let's just get some simpler names. There's a lot easier ways to make money out there. If we could push up into 22280, I'd be looking short BA, BBIG. The daily gap filled. It's important when we're doing this day trading. I know I used to just like, okay, where's the short squeeze? Where's the hype? Let's go get it. Let's go get long. And I would never zoom out. It's always important to zoom out. Yesterday's pullback was about filling this gap at 597. We filled the gap, got the lower wick of bulls buying the dip on this high short float name. So we have resistance at 845, 858, 872, support 776. And 605. So with these names, we have a lot of soup du jours. What's the chart du jour of the name? And then the retail money just kind of goes in droves. It's kind of like ants. When you throw food on the ground, they go from this food, and then you throw new food on the ground, and they go, just go congregate around the next piece of food. Same thing happens with retail traders and these hype names. Yesterday, the chart du jour was, let's buy the dip on BBIG. And we always want to be positioned well for this, either short or long, and just recognize the crowd movement. So the crowd movement today could be to SPRT. We are opening up below this 3051. It is crucial that we get back up in that 3051 in order to save these multiple daily inside bars. Okay, sorry. I was getting a message. Want to make sure I was staying on track. So let me go back to daily, start over with SPRT. Daily inside bars, Monday and Tuesday. Today, we are opening up below yesterday's low. That is a bear break on this daily inside bar. Bulls have time to save it, get up and over 3051 in regular trading hours, and we would count that as a save. And I would love for it to tighten up another day. Just tighten up one more day, and let's see what the bulls can do. Support 2884, 2560. I know some of you have absolutely tuned in just to hear me say something bullish about SPRT. I see a lot of bag holders. I see a lot of people that bought back here. I know who you are. I saw when you started following me. I know I get messages about SPRT. So when this bounces, think about what the psychology happens from the bag holders over here. Please bounce, so I don't have to tell my wife that I lost hundreds or thousands of dollars. So they have bags. They got Louis Vuitton, they got Chanel, Hermes, Dooney & Burke, Coach bags. They got bags overhead. So they're going to be selling into any bounce on this name. So if you are a bag holder, think about the psychology of any bounce over here. People just want to offload their bags, and that's going to suppress price. So yes, this has an amazing short float. Yes, it could run to $1 bajillion today, but we've got bag holders overhead. We have price pressure overhead. It may keep price down. Resistance 32.46, 35.20. If I sound like I'm preaching or being a mama, sorry. I just care, and I don't want you to get hurt. And names like this hurt more people than it helps people. More people lose money than make money on names like today. Doesn't mean I won't watch it, doesn't mean I won't trade it, but I will use stop losses and be protective. Okay, now that the preaching's over, Crowd had earnings. Please think about what happened to Crowd going into earnings. So earnings was yesterday after hours. They had a tiny little beat, maybe guidance was soft, yada yada. So they got it was announced that they were getting added, what was it, y'all, to the NASDAQ or S&P, I forget. But they were being added to a large ETF, and they ran hard into earnings. So we were up near all-time high yesterday. So we made the all-time high on Monday. So we ran hard. So this pullback right now is healthy. So I have pulled the fibs on this run. So anything above 265.56 could be a daily bull flag. So yes, we're down 3%, but this was just priced to perfection into earnings. So always look at the psychology of whatever name chart you're looking at. Think of the psychology. This was priced pretty perfectly. So it would have to be a huge beat to price in this run. So above 265.56, it could be a potential daily bull flag. So I'm looking for bulls to potentially buy this dip above 265. MRNA, hourly squeeze, weekly higher low attempt in the EQ, and they got positive news. So let's scroll out and look at this. So on the weekly, we have this higher low set at 349, and we got a low of 362.80 on Monday. Yep, on Monday. So now, is this high set? We have an hourly squeeze. Let's see what the bulls can do. I am more convinced that the weekly high or low is set above 384.68. Above 384.68. So I like it to the bullish side. NEO got clobbered with production numbers. whatever. Bad news, bad news, bad news. Support 36.64. We're hanging above that. If we could come down to 36.64, bulls may attempt to buy that dip, but I can't trade this anyway but bearishly with this news. So I would like personally bounce up into the 38.30 area, which matches up with the EMAs, to trade this bearishly. Plan. So they had an earnings beat. They're up huge. So this becomes a back burner trade for me. So I like a 5-minute oversold. So let's go set that alert. First 5 minute. Let me know when the RSI dips below 30. And then it may have a trade for me. If it were to pull back and you want to trade the high of low bar setup. So if you're new, well, if you're old, excuse me while I just draw it real quick. I should be able to save this drawing so I could just pull it up each time. One of y'all sent me a message saying one of our names yesterday, it did that perfect. Oh, I think it was apps, high of low bar. So if you want in on a name like this, my drawing isn't perfect, but you get the picture. Where you enter when it breaks the high of the low bar, and I use the 2 minute on opening, and you put your stop below that low bar. I think it was apps. Let's look at it. Sorry, y'all, indulge me. This is a perfect example of a high of low bar trade setup. So we don't enter at open. We wait for the pullback, break the high of the low bar, put your stop under the low bar, and then we're off to the races. I sold around here. If I'm being honest, I sold around here, $60 on that high of low bar trade. It went on to $61 and then pulled back. So if you want to see a good example of high of low bar trade setup, look at the 2 minute on apps. Roku. This is not my normal style. Sorry, y'all. Me and my mouse are dancing very poorly this morning. 4 hour squeeze is we're at the weekly 50 EMA. Bulls need to shut up, put up or shut up. So in the swing report, I would not suggest a name like this for a swing because EMAs are overhead. We want EMAs stacked positively below us supporting price. However, this is a counter trend trade, so at least our stop is nearby on a trade like this. So I'm looking for the bulls to put up or shut up above 356.80. This thing looks a little bit better, but I want you to look at all the fake outs it's had. Look at all those pops and drops. Pop and drop. Pop and drop it. This is a song. I know this song very well. I've danced to this song. Pop and drop it. Pop and drop it. I am waiting for this to change character for a potential swing trade. High risk of getting stopped out. Roku bulls need to piece together something. I mean, look at all the money that's been made on this pop, block, and drop it. So 356.80, get over it. Bulls, stop your playing around. So I like Roku to the long side, and this is me going out on a limb here with Roku. We discussed SPRT, Tilray, potential top fish opportunity of 14.19, so 13.95 and then 14.19. So Canadian MJ Bulls are trying to change the script. They're trying to flip the script finally. They have just been going down, down, down for days and weeks. So let's see if they can do it, but I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Now, if IWM is strong, this trade may not work, but I like a top fish opportunity on Tilray. Be protective, and I'd put my stop around 14.21. So a couple pennies above yesterday's high. TTCF. You heard it here first. And if you didn't hear it here first, then where'd you hear it from? Because they're awesome too. Kidding. Maybe I'm not kidding. Okay, there's a monthly EQ on Tattoo Chef that's just the prettiest of the pretty. I know for a fact right now, Jason is printing this and putting it on his refrigerator. He's putting hearts around it. I know he's printing this. This monthly EQ is beautiful. I wish I would have seen it over here. Holding this 1542 at 1578 would have been a stellar buy. Now we have a double top, and we're trying to get through this double top on the daily. A pullback buy may be an opportunity with this high short float on this monthly EQ. So this isn't a trade for today. This is a trade that's developing. I would love a lower high compared to 24.25 and then pull back some more. XBI. It's Phil. You messaged me yesterday about XBI. You were looking at a top fish. We closed yesterday with a daily inside bar. So it's a top fish opportunity on XBI, and what we're looking for is the reverse of the high of low bar. We're looking for the low of the high bar to break, meaning we've been up. Now we're looking for the low of this high bar to break, and then we can put our stop either at the last hourly lower high. Okay, we're testing it bullishly this morning. So 133.60 is the number. And then we could put our stop above 133.60, and then we could take profits if it starts pulling down, just start scaling out into profits. So this is a system. I'm running out of time, so I can't talk about it a lot today, but high of low bar, low of high bar, you can apply this to very high time frames, and it can be your system. I'm going to keep my notes for today, and I'll attempt to go over it tomorrow, but if you want to screenshot this, you need a system. You absolutely need a system. And Dan's been talking about the candles when they break down and how that's a great point of entry. Keep this system simple. You could just do a bar break system. High of low bar, low of high bar, only after, let's say, 8 consecutive candles to the upside or to the downside. Put your stop below. Take profits at 2, 4, 6%. For those of you looking for a system, you can trade this system all day, every day, any day that ends in Y. You can trade that system. So hopefully we'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow. QQQ, here are your levels. We're breaking through this level. Here are your levels on QQQ, 4-hour EQ. SPY, ES is a little bit clearer than SPY, 4-hour EQ. 3540 is your resistance, and then 354225. All right. Okay. Big NFTs. All right, Square versus Snow. Wait 1 second, I just saw something. Did y'all see it? Once you start seeing patterns, you can't not see it. Look at this on ES. This could be a cup and handle. It's actually a pretty perfect cup and handle. Cup and handle pattern, 2-hour ES. There you go. That is looking even more bullish today. Okay, y'all are asking about Square. Let me get my bearings. Square, we have a daily squeeze, bearish engulfing candle, meaning yesterday's action engulfed the prior day's candle and we closed near the low of day. That is bearish. Let's see what the bulls can do. Perfect hourly EQ. Oh, nice chart setup. So your support is 26762, 26626, resistance 27040, 27137. Snow is stronger than Square. So just stop and look at the hourly EMAs. Make your life simple. Look at the hourly EMAs. Snow, hourly EMAs below. Square, hourly EMAs slightly overhead. We're fighting them. It just makes it easy. Keep it simple. Low of high bar thing, Chris. What I mean, and I'll explain it more tomorrow. So there's your tease to come back tomorrow. So what I mean is these candles are going up, not breaking the low of the prior candle on XBI. If we break this low right here, 13109, that would signal entry bearishly, and you would start scaling out profits as we pull down. Now, if this candle does not break the low of Monday, it keeps going, and just keep waiting for that candle to break the low of this highest bar, the low of that candle, and that becomes your short entry. Okay, I just did TTCF, Adam. You're welcome, Don. NMNMD, MedMind. Potential weekly bear flag. It's showing a little bit of promise. It had a nice day yesterday at 3%. This is a mushroom name, psychedelic, whatever you call it. We had a daily trend change. Okay, beautiful, bullish. We have 200 MA overhead, 50 MA overhead. And odds favor a lower high compared to 318. Bulls have to put their construction hat on and get to work. But if you can deal through that construction zone, then you could put your stop, let's say, at 276 as a aggressive stop, or even 285 as a conservative stop, or 267. You just scale out if it starts pulling back and they don't put in the work. The bulls have to put in the work. One more. Oh yeah, I love him. That's cool. I'm glad he's talking about short squeezes with S3 partners. MCD, last one. Dan starts in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. So SPRT, okay, thank you for your question, Phil. SPRT, I am hands off on it because we're breaking below 30.51 in pre-market. My exact comment was I wanted it to open within the range during regular trading hours. We are opening below 30.51. Trade busted. Trade setup. Give me this tightening pattern. Give me this tightening pattern. 30.51, line in sand. And we're opening below it. Trade busted. I need it to open above 30.51 during market hours. So within 31 minutes, it must get up and over 30.51 for this not to be a busted trade. So I hope that makes sense. I think this is an amazing setup, and the bulls blew it this morning. They absolutely blew it. So I don't ever want to mislead anyone. If I say SPRT is a great setup yesterday, yes, it's a great setup, but I qualified my statement. If they open within the range, then it's a good setup. They did not take care of the condition. The condition was set. Open up within this range, fail. They failed. They have 30 minutes to get their life together and get back over 30.50, or trade is busted. Love y'all. Use stop losses. TCGers. Dan starting now.